Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday Mortgage Coach. My name is Dave Savage. If you're on this call, you are a Mortgage Coach member or a guest. So connect with me online, LinkedIn, Facebook. And for all you guests, we've been doing this for over 7 years. We've done over 400 interviews like the one today. And our mission, to be clear for everybody, is to get mortgage professionals to go from delivering fee worksheets, rates and fees in all kinds of different ways. And every time you quote rates, every time you provide mortgage advice, make sure you deliver that in an awesome way. Put it on a mobile device. Make sure you're providing video education. Not only is it great for the homeowner, but it's great for the realtor. It helps connect the relationship and the value proposition. Do want to remind everybody, next week I will be interviewing Dave Ramsey and talking about how the mortgage is part of the strategic financial plan for every family in America, and helping you guys be better advisors and coaches to your clients. So today, I'm excited. We've got Craig Proctor, who was the #1 realtor for Remax in the world for, I think, a decade. From my perspective, I've had lots of mortgage coach members say, Dave, you've got to interview Craig. You've got to get him on a call. So Craig, welcome to the call.
Thank you, Dave. Happy to be here.
Good. Well, hey, look forward to a great call. A couple announcements for all you mortgage coaches out there. I want to remind you that we have upgraded the Mortgage Coach Open House experience. So how you can co-brand and create that Mortgage Coach app so it's awesome at open houses. Make sure you're doing that. I've already been getting great feedback. This came in this week. You know, this was feedback from an actual realtor this week. This was also feedback. So we've been getting tons of feedback from realtors who love the way mortgage coaches are delivering the advice, and they're sharing it with all their clients. So another thing I want to bring to everybody's attention is a new Mortgage Coach app. Now this is only available for enterprise partners, so if you're with a lender who's not one of our partners, send me an email, Dave@Mortgage Coach, and we'll see what we can do about getting you on the list for this. But this is the newest innovation for Mortgage Coach. You know, what we've noticed is a lot of families are out taking pictures. When they're out looking at homes, they're taking pictures. So we have reinvented the home shopping experience, made it really super simple for families while they're out looking at homes to do it in a modern way with Mortgage Coach My Next. So think of it as Pinterest for home buyers, Instagram for home buyers, where while they're out looking at homes, they can capture pictures. They say, I want to add a picture, it geotags where they're at. They click add picture, take a picture of the front door. By the way, Craig, we've had lots of realtors say, I love this because I can go out and preview a property, or for a pocket listing before it hits the MLS, I can go out, take a picture, go from room to room, adding my vision, so capture, organize, and the beauty of it is it's not just pictures, it's videos, it's audio. So using your mobile device in a modern way, super simple. Literally, you could walk through a house in 5 minutes, pictures, video, audio, and then you could share that. So home buyers can now share this with family members. Realtors can go out and preview, share it with families they're helping, or they can go out before a home's on escrow, call it the pre-MLS inventory out there, and use this as a way to efficiently and effectively share this information. It's also great at open houses. So again, this is something that you can all play with. We have rolled this out through select partnerships. If you would like to be considered for this, email me again at dave@mortgagecoach.com. Also, there is a referral code that you'll want to put in. You know, use my mobile number. I want to make sure for all you Mortgage Coach members, I'm very close to the street, very close to what you're doing. So my mobile number is 949-370-7393. When you download and start playing with this, make sure you put in my mobile number. So those are a couple announcements from the Mortgage Coach side. With that, I want to bring in our guest today. Craig is obviously incredibly successful. He also mentors and coaches some of the most successful realtors in the country. I think one thing that's distinguished him with me is every time I talk to one of his clients, I mean, they are raving fans of the advice that he provides and how much he's helped them with their business. And every time I talk to a mortgage professional that's worked with Craig, again, they're raving fans. So, Craig, I know you've got some slides to share, some thoughts. maybe a little bit on your backstory, and look forward to figuring out how we can deliver more value to real estate professionals.
All right, well, it's my pleasure to be here today. For those of you that don't know me, I'll give you a little bit of background. I got into real estate by mistake. I had dropped out of university, dropped out of college, wasn't sure what I was going to do with my life. In fact, here I am as a 25-year-old living in my parents' home, and my dad was a real estate agent for about 20 years at the time. So I said, hey, Dad, I'm going to get into real estate. Now, to my surprise, he discouraged me. He said, don't do it, because he was well aware of the high failure rate in real estate, and I was basically pretty good at failing at things. So he said, don't do it. You've never sold anything. You don't have any sales or marketing experience. What chance do you really have as a 25-year-old? But like a lot of young guys, I did the exact opposite of what my dad told me to do. And what I found out is he was right. It was very difficult. The first year I struggled, and I almost left the business. But an amazing thing happened. Within 24 months, I kind of figured out how to make this work. And in under 3 years, I became the top agent for Remax, not in the country, but in the world. As a 20-something-year-old, ironically, still living in my parents' home. And, you know, that probably, I think most of you would agree, was not supposed to happen. But what was even more amazing is I continued to be the top Remax agent in the world, or one of the top 10 in the world, for 15 years in a row. So we're going to talk about this major change that I made, because it was a major change, and how any of you can do it. You see, I got a lot of attention as a young guy. You can imagine, only 3 years in the business. I was making millions of dollars a year. Real estate agents wanted to know, what is this young guy doing? And they started to follow me around, and I started with a shadow program, actually. People would pay me, Dave, to follow me around, which I thought was pretty cool. And I raised the price to a couple $1,000s a day, and they still kept coming. So I decided, well, I'll do a seminar. So that's how I got into training real estate agents. And what I discovered was anybody that did exactly what I was doing was starting to win. They were starting to see the same kind of results that I was seeing. So that's when I realized that my success really had nothing to do with me, and it had everything to do with the system that I was using. So just like I sort of got into real estate by mistake, I got into training real estate agents by mistake. Now, if we fast forward to today, what's kind of amazing is the people that train real estate agents, most of them have actually never been successful at it. Some of them have never actually sold real estate. So that's my uniqueness in the world of real estate training, is everything I teach real estate agents I've successfully done. In fact, I've created more millionaire real estate agents than any other coach or trainer or mentor. So we have an hour today, actually a little less than that, I guess, with our announcements on either end. So I'm trying to squeeze in as much as I can to give everyone an idea as to how I did this, and how everyone, whether you're a lender or you're a realtor, can be really successful. In fact, most of the good ideas that I implemented in my real estate business came from outside of real estate. You know, they say that industries are invented from the outside, not from the inside. And I believe the major mistake that we all make when we get into the business, whether, you know, you're a lender or you're a realtor, the big mistake we make is when we begin in the business, we look around at what everyone else is doing and we copy it. You know, we try to conform. We want to fit in. And I must say, as I look back at my career, the biggest wins I've ever had is when I don't do what everyone else is doing. So I'm going to show you a lot of examples of me being successful, not doing what most realtors do. So if you want a better lifestyle, you really need to get your marketing act together. And I'm going to share with you today 5 strategies. If you want to make more money and you want to do less, which that's why we're here, right? There's 5 strategies I want to share with everyone. So you might want to get your pen handy and start writing a few notes. Strategy number 1 is you just can't be another ordinary real estate agent or another ordinary lender. There's just too many. Okay, so we're going to talk today about not being just another ordinary real estate agent or just another ordinary lender. We're going to talk about how to set ourselves apart. So that's strategy number one. You can't be perceived as just another ordinary real estate agent or lender. Strategy number two, you have to attract the clients so they feel like they're finding you and you're not chasing them. Okay, we've got to create this perception amongst the prospects that they're actually hunting you down. Okay, far too much time is spent chasing prospects down and begging for business. So I'm going to talk about how to use magnetic marketing, how to create this situation where the clients are actually chasing you down. Strategy number three is we must deliberately repel clients that are not a great fit with us. Far too many of you spend far too much time with prospects that you should just blow off right from the beginning. So my hope for all my clients, whether they be realtors or lenders, is that we teach you how to generate slightly more business than you could handle. And you might say, well, Proctor, why do I want more business than I can handle? Well, I think we'd all agree that some clients are better than others. And when we're working with a difficult client that doesn't respect us, they fight us all the way through the transaction, they don't take our advice, how do you feel when you go home after a long, hard day with a difficult prospect? I mean, it does kind of dictate your mood, right? I mean, you get home from a hard day with a difficult prospect, you walk in the door, even the dog knows something's wrong. And the opposite's also true. When you work with a really great prospect, somebody that takes your advice, they're a joy to work with, you feel pretty good about your work, and you go home in a good mood in those days. So the type of client that we have dictates not only how much money we make, but how much we enjoy what we do. So if you have slightly more clients than you could possibly work with, it gives you the power of choice. Okay, and this is vitally important that we have the ability to pick and choose who we want to work with. So Dave, if I was a lender and I had more clients than I could possibly work with, this is probably what I would do. I'd probably look at them all and say, well, since I don't have time to work with them all, I would choose to work with the most motivated, the most sincere, the most ready to act prospects in my database. So that was really an important thing for me to figure out, is how to generate more business than I could handle so I could exercise my power of choice and only work with the very best prospects. Strategy number four is you must invest money in systems and technology in place of manual labor. And Dave, this is where you come into it here with the technology and the systems that you've developed for lenders. And we have to make a decision whether we just want to have a job that relies on our own manual grunt labor, or whether we want to replace manual grunt labor with smart systems and smart marketing. And finally, strategy number five, if you want to dictate the way you do business, if you want to make more money and work less, you must choose narrow target markets and nurture them. Okay, we can't be everything to everybody. And we're going to talk, if we have time here today, about how to select your target market. In other words, who should you be talking to with your marketing message, and who should you not be talking to? So what I want to accomplish on our webinar today is I want to talk about who is it that we want to attract, and how do we want to attract them. So we're going to focus on the process of generating a lead, developing a prospect, sifting and sorting the leads, and then bringing a predetermined prospect to the table. Now there's 3 planets that real estate agents and lenders live on. So we should talk about these 3 planets, and you can decide which planet you live on now, and more importantly, you can decide which planet you'd like to live on. The first planet is the planet of manual labor, okay, the manual labor planet. this is the planet where you're out there begging for business and you're cold calling, you're networking, and you're knocking on doors. Most realtors spend 80% of their week hunting down prospects, which leaves them very little time to actually take care of their clients. Well, this is the planet that I lived on when I started in real estate. You know, this is what my dad told me to do. He was 20 years in the business, as my broker at the time told me to do. As I indicated earlier, the big mistake I made when I got into the business, I looked around at what all the other realtors were doing, and I copied it. Well, about a year into this, I hate real estate. I'm thinking, Dad was right. I made a huge mistake, and I'm looking for another job. Well, fortunately, I couldn't find another job, so I had to figure out how to make real estate work. So I had this bright idea that if everyone in my community knew who I was, well, therefore, when they're ready to buy or sell because they know me, they'll call me. So I jumped off the first planet. I jumped off the planet of manual grunt labor, and I jumped onto this second planet called brand or image advertising. So that was my big idea, is that I'll promote me. I'll create this awareness of Craig Proctor in my community, and everyone will know that Craig Proctor is a realtor. So therefore, when they're ready to buy or sell, they'll call, right? Wrong. And we all know this because we all have family members or friends that know us quite well, but they've chose to do business with somebody else. So that wasn't the answer. Simply creating an awareness just isn't good enough because we've all had people that know us not do business with us. So I decided to jump off the second planet of brand and image advertising onto the planet that caused all my success. This is the planet I live on today. And I'm going to invite all of you to come over and live on my planet. It's a great planet, by the way. It's the planet of direct response advertising and strategic lead generation, where you know exactly what your return on investment is. As the name may indicate, direct response means you're going to get an immediate direct response every time you run an ad. And all these ads are trackable, which means you can test the different ads in the different places, and you'll, in very short order, determine what works best for you. So which planet would you like to live on? Hopefully this makes sense, and you're curious anyway as to what my planet is all about. And the truth is, most real estate agents and lenders are in an abusive relationship with their own career. They're being abused by antiquated methodologies, poor business models. Really, it's just the same old stuff that's being taught to us, you know, in new wrappers. And everybody's just telling you to do more of what you're already doing. So, you know, if they teach cold calling, they say, hey, you want to do better, make more cold calls, or, you know, do more networking, or spend more money on image advertising. Well, I guess high tolerance for pain is a way to make a living, but I don't believe it's the best way. Okay, I believe there's a better way. The other thing that's important is avoiding income uncertainty. You know, for most realtors and lenders, their income is up and down and up and down, and that's one thing we help you with, is we help you avoid income uncertainty. And most real estate agents and lenders, you know, even successful real estate agents and lenders, are rowing in the same boat 5 years, 10 years, 20 years later. I remember I was at the Remax office recently. I spent my entire 22-year real estate career at Remax, and I met some of the agents that were there before I was. Some of these agents have made, you know, $100,000, $200,000 a year for 30 years. And truthfully, they're no better off today than they were 30 years ago. So what I want to share with you today are a couple universal business principles. And the first one is prospects don't want to be sold. And we know this. You know, Dave, if I walk into a retail store, the salesperson approaches me, I already know that salesperson's going to say, they're going to say, can I help you? And I have well rehearsed my response to that, which is, no thank you, I'm just looking. The crazy thing is, I'll say to the salesperson, no thank you, I'm just looking, even in situations where I'd actually like some help. Remember a couple weeks ago, I go into Home Depot, I'm looking for something very specific. The greeter guy says, can I help you? I'm like, oh no, I'm just looking. Now I spend a half an hour of my time running up and down the aisles at Home Depot. If, you know, when you buy a car, You might go to a car dealership on a Sunday when you know they're closed. So we have to assume and understand that our prospects are no different than we are. Most real estate agents and lenders are salespeople, not marketers. And a salesperson sells prospects what they have, but a marketer makes sure they have what it is that prospects want to buy. In real estate, traditionally, they teach us to advertise two things. They want us to advertise ourselves, and they want us to advertise houses. So who was I to question this? When I started in real estate in 1988, looked around at what everyone else is doing, and so that's what I start to do. I start to market my brand. I start to get my name out there. And some people say, well, gee, Craig, what's wrong with that? You know, Coke and Pepsi spend a ton of money branding themselves. Well, true, but the good news for Coca-Cola is everyone in the world is their customer. The bad news for Coca-Cola is it's very expensive to talk to everybody in the world. And as small business people, we need a better strategy. We cannot spend a lot to get a little, and that's the experience most realtors and lenders have had with marketing. Marketing is something that you spend a ton of money on, and you really don't get much in return. But what did I know as a new agent? And I look around at what the other realtors are doing in my marketplace, and it kind of seems unprofessional to me. But you know, here's a guy, Wayne. He's pulling a rabbit out of a hat, and you know, here's a couple of Remax agents. They're dressed up as Batman and Robin. I mean, these are real ads, folks. You know, I wonder if they show up at the seller's house that way. Okay, Tammy, she says, take a magic real estate carpet ride with Tammy. Okay, agents 007, licensed to sell. Hey, these two agents are undercover. They're so undercover, guess what? No one ever calls them. So believe it or not, a lot of real estate agents advertise themselves and, you know, a glamour shot. They've got a cell phone pressed to their ear, or they're leaning on someone else's BMW, or they're talking about how they're number one, or they're great, or they have integrity and experience. Seems like all realtors are just running around advertising these big, flashy, colorful ads. And the truth is the public really can't tell one agent or one lender from another. They're all trying to sell the prospect. And prospects, as I've mentioned, they really don't want to be sold. But if you look through any real estate publication in your community, you're going to see dozens and dozens of ads from realtors and lenders. Everybody's saying, we're the biggest, we're the best, we care about your business. But these ads don't have any benefits. They don't really tell a complete story. They don't make a specific offer. They really give prospects no reason to buy. Now, the other thing that they taught me to do when I got into real estate is advertise my homes. So the ad on the left here is a typical ad that I would run. New Market, that's in my town. 2-bedroom, corner lot, in-ground pool, closet organizers, garage door opener, $279.9, and call Bob Smith, the agent. That's a typical ad that any realtor would run all over the country. And you might say, well, what's wrong with that ad? Well, first of all, if you ask most realtors when they run an ad promoting one of their listings, do they get a lot of calls? The answer is no. And if you were to ask the realtors, well, what happens when someone does call you? What percentage of the time does the buyer actually buy the property? Well, realtors are quick to tell you, well, that hardly ever happens. So think about this. We've got gazillions of realtors all over the country spending money advertising their listings, when realtors, when you get them together as a group, they'll all agree that when they advertise their listings, they get very few calls, and even worse than that, the very few buyers that call, 90% of them eliminate the property. They tell you it's too big, it's too small, it's in the wrong location or whatever, and they hang up. So I started to look at these ads. I thought, well, you know, the purpose to run an ad should be to get lots of buyers to call me. But the truth is, if you look at this ad on the left, there's a lot of eliminators, a lot of reasons why a buyer wouldn't call me. I was actually inserting reasons for the buyer not to call me. For example, a 2-bedroom home might sound too small, so the buyer doesn't call. It's on a corner lot. Maybe they don't want a corner lot. In-ground pool. Maybe they don't want a pool. And then look at the other nonsense. Closet organizers, garage door openers, water softener, new dishwasher. Realtors have a habit of just laundry listing these physical features, you know, as if the buyer, you know, you can imagine the buyer looking at this going, oh my God, this one's got the closet organizers. and the new dishwasher, we better call Proctor. Look, that's not the way people buy homes. And then I have a specific price, $279.9. So what I'm telling the world is, you know, if you're looking above that price range or below that price range, please don't call. And then you have to speak to a scary real estate salesperson. So here's what I did. I replaced that ad with an ad that has much wider appeal. You pretend you're the buyer and you're looking in my town in Newmarket. Newmarket, lovely homes, plural, quiet streets, plural, great neighborhood, free list of homes with pictures. You don't have to talk to a real estate agent. Just go online to newmarkethomeslist.com. So if you were a buyer looking in my area, you would think lovely homes. Well, I'm not looking for a crappy home. Quiet street. Well, I'm not looking for a busy street. Great neighborhood. Well, I'm not looking for a crummy neighborhood. And I can get a list of all the homes in Newmarket. Well, guess what? It's pretty difficult to eliminate all the homes in Newmarket that match your criteria. If the buyer can't eliminate the ad, what must the buyer do? They must respond. So I figured out very early in the game, you can't sell the house in the ad, so why even try? We have to run different types of ads. We have to operate with a wider funnel. When you're advertising a listing, you have a very narrow funnel, and I wanted to offer something that everybody wanted. For example, at the time I started in real estate, there was a golf course community called Glenway Estates. I didn't have any listings in Glenway Estates, but it didn't stop me from running this ad. Lovely golf course homes on quiet streets, free list of homes available. You can call in to the recorded message or go to my website at glenwaystateslist.com. When they call the recorded 800 number, it would say, "Hi, this is Craig Proctor with Remax. Thank you for calling about the lovely homes in Glenway Estates." Now here's the key. I know of several beautiful homes in Glenway Estates. Some are 4-bedroom, some are 3, some on the golf course, some on the inside, et cetera, et cetera. Please leave me a detailed description of the type of home you're looking for in Glenway Estates and your contact information, including your name, your email address, and your phone number, and I will send you a list of homes that match your criteria. So again, I'm not saying I have any of these listings, I'm saying I know of them, and of course, all realtors have access to MLS. All I had to do was do a quick search of MLS of homes in Glenway Estates that matched exactly what the buyer was looking for, and boom, send them a list. The other thing I started to do is I started to run ads that didn't look like ads. They look like news. So you might not see it there, but it's an ad. It looks like news, and this can run online and offline. Most newspapers, by the way, have an online version. Stop paying rent and own your own home. Free report shows you how. That's a close-up of what the editorial ad looks like. And you can see my disclaimer real small at the bottom. Some of you might be thinking, well, is that even legal? Yep, it is. As long as your name, your designation, and your company name is there, and your name can't be bigger or more dominant than your company name. And as you can see, you really can't see either one. So, but my name is not bigger or more dominant than my company name. So in California, you might have to have your real estate license number there. You might have to have the equal housing. So it's a little bit different in different jurisdictions. But the idea is let's focus on what prospects want instead of focusing on what realtors want. So I'm offering a free report to first-time buyers on how to stop paying rent and own your own home. And then we design the report, we send it out, and we make all this available to our members. So whether you're a lender or you're a realtor, we show you how to get buyers to contact you. How? By offering buyers what it is that they're looking for. So really, this is the marketing secret that I stumbled onto. The most effective and least expensive method of generating leads, drum roll, is to offer prospects something they want and make it really easy and non-threatening for them to get it. Well, Dave, in that first year of my real estate career, I was doing the opposite. I was offering stuff buyers didn't want. I was making it difficult for them to get it because they had to talk to me, a real estate agent. The second principle I want to talk about here today is the fact that prospects really need a compelling reason to do business with us. You know, they're not going to do business with us just because we exist. So we have to have this really highly specific, meaningful consumer benefit. That's called a USP, or a unique selling proposition. So your USP, or unique selling proposition, articulates clearly and concisely what big benefit or benefits a prospect will derive from doing business with you. So it's basically the essence of your entire business, that unique advantage that distinguishes you from your competitors. And you've got to be able to clearly communicate that in 60 seconds or less. I mean, if you can't communicate what makes you unique, in other words, why people should choose you over everyone else in 60 seconds or less, if you can't describe it, little chance that your prospect will comprehend it. So you want to write this one down. If you're taking notes, in red, this is the most important question that anyone's ever going to ask you as long as you're a real estate agent or you're a lender. Why should I do business with you above all other options, including doing nothing or whatever I'm doing now? So when we're speaking to a prospect on the phone or we're meeting with a prospect, they either outright ask us this question, don't they? Or at least they're thinking it. Why should I do business with you above all other options, including doing nothing or whatever I'm doing now? So buyers have choices, right? So when it comes to real estate agents, the buyer could choose to go out there and look at homes on their own. They could, choose not to buy, or they could choose you or any of the other realtors you compete with. Okay, or when they're looking for a loan, they could go out there online, they could do it themselves, they could choose not to get a loan, they could choose you or anyone you compete with. When a prospect's selling their home, they could choose not to sell, they could choose to sell it themselves, or they could choose you or any other realtor. So it's important that we have a spectacular answer to this most important question that prospects are going to be asking you for as long as you're doing this. But sadly, most agents and lenders, they couldn't really begin to clearly explain their USP at all. In fact, I did a conference on the weekend, and we surveyed the attendees, and we asked them, what makes them unique? Why should prospects choose to do business with them? And so many of the surveys came back. They answered that question with, well, I provide great service, I've got integrity, I've got experience, I'm going to work hard. And the point I made is I read to the audience about 20 of the answers to this question, and we've got 20 people saying the same thing. I work hard, I've got integrity, I'm experienced, I'm going to get you the best results. So clearly when everyone's saying the same thing, you're not setting yourself apart. So here's one of the messages that I came up with, one of the answers to that question that I came up with. Your home sold in 120 days, guaranteed, or I'll buy it. The biggest trend in the country today is skepticism. If it's true that real estate agents and lenders are all running around saying, we're the biggest, we're the best, we're the greatest, we're going to provide you great service, how do we set ourselves apart from that? All that noise that's out there. Well, the easiest way to set yourself apart from all that noise is to be accountable in a world where nobody else wants to be. So, for example, every realtor would promise the seller, hey, I'll do a good job, I'll get your home sold, I'll sell it for more money than anyone else, I'll sell it faster. And I come along and I say, look, I guarantee to sell your home within 120 days or I'll buy it. Here's some of the other ads. Here's a billboard I had in the main highway. A little younger in that picture, but your home sold in 120 days or I'll buy it. Here's one of the ladies that came through my training. She came to one of my 3-day super conferences. She goes back home to Halifax, and she starts with this program. Well, she became the top Coldwell Banker agent in the country within 24 months of coming to my conference and starting to use my marketing. Here's another one of my ads. Your home sold at a price acceptable to you, guaranteed, or Craig will buy it. And another one there with my listings. And another one, every agent will promise to sell your home, Craig guarantees it. If your home doesn't sell, Craig is willing to buy it himself at a price acceptable to you. Many of you probably have a lot of questions on, like, how does that work? Craig, you must have got stuck buying gazillions of homes. No, not true. I made millions of dollars from that program, and in 22 years, I only bought 2 homes. And I made some mistakes on those 2 very early in my career, and that was all in the first couple of years. for the last 20 years, it was just a huge moneymaker. Sometimes I restate that guaranteed sale program to say this: move up to any one of my listings, I'll buy your home for cash. In fact, I installed this little $15 sign rider on all my for sale signs. Buy this home from me and I'll buy your home for cash. I was able to transform, my ordinary, boring for sale sign into a huge lead generator. So I was getting calls not just on the property, but more so on the program. Again, a listing has very narrow appeal. It may be a beautiful home, but let's face it, 99% of buyers in the marketplace are not interested in that one home, but the guaranteed sale program was something that had universal appeal. Everyone was interested in that. So that's a close-up of what that little sign rider looks like. And one of my ads: move up to any one of my listings, I'll buy your home for cash. So this is a trade-in program, much like you would trade in a car, right? You want a new car, you trade in your old car, they take it and trade. So that's exactly what I was doing. If you move up and buy one of my listings, I'll take your home for trade. And now, I'm not buying these homes at 100% of market value. Just like when you trade in your car, there's a little bit of a discount. So I've got some cushion. Here's some testimonials, some people using the program. One of the testimonials said at first we thought it was a gimmick, but because of Craig's program, guaranteed sale program, we were able to buy the home of our dreams. Now, if that sounds too super risky for you, we have other ones. How about this one? Your home sold in under X amount of time, so 60 days in this example, guaranteed, or I'll deduct $1,000 from my commission. Okay, now the key here is the seller had to take my recommended asking price. Now, we know in today's marketplace, if the home's listed correctly, it'll sell immediately. It won't take 60 days to sell. So I was getting a complete stranger to contact me, right? That's the idea of an ad like this. Somebody that doesn't know me, maybe they were going to use Uncle Joe the realtor, but they're compelled by this ad. They call me, I meet them at their home, and I guarantee to sell their home. If they list it at my price, I will sell their home in under 60 days above a pre-agreed price, or if I fail to do that, I'll pay them $1,000, but on closing. So what's the worst thing that could happen? If the house didn't sell, well, there is no closing, so I can't deduct. So I'm only deducting $1,000 when it actually sells and closes. So think about what's the worst thing that could happen here. Some stranger, some guy that doesn't even know me, calls me, and let's say I sell his home in 61 days. So instead of making a $20,000 commission, I only make a $19,000 commission. That would be the worst thing that could happen. Okay, a stranger pays me $19,000. How many of you would be okay with that? Or how about this one here? Your home sold for at least 100% of your asking price, or I'll pay you the difference. So a lot of markets, like I'm in Toronto, the market's super hot here. Pretty much, if a home is listed properly, they all sell for 100% of the asking price. So that's the key, is the big condition is the seller has to take your recommended asking price. And if you're in a real hot market, that might be one you might be interested in, because if you list it right, they all sell for at least 100% of the asking price. In fact, here's one of my members in San Diego, Jim and Jessica Botrell. He's a Marine, by the way, so good work ethic there. But look at this. Your home sold for at least 100% of asking price, or we'll pay you the difference. Okay, and he backs it up with lots of statistics. Here's another one of my members in California. Your home sold at 100% of asking price, guaranteed, or I'll pay you the difference. And then, Dave, you wanted to talk to me about some of the special services that I teach realtors that lenders can benefit from. So this is an important way to set yourself apart, not only having these performance guarantees, but offering services that other realtors and other lenders don't offer. So one of those services is when I met with a seller, I told this seller about my buyers in waiting program. I would actually bring a printout of all the buyers in my database. So you can see here's one of my members, and they have 2,603 home buyers looking in the area, and 650 are highly qualified to buy right now. So Dave, imagine if you were the seller and you were interviewing a couple realtors, and I'm the last realtor you meet with, and I come in and I say, now Dave, should you decide to list your home with me, the very first thing that I would do is I'd send information on your home out to the over 650 highly qualified buyers that I have in my database right now that are looking for a home like yours. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it's almost like I've been looking for a buyer for your home before you and I even met tonight. Now, I know you interviewed a couple of other realtors. Dave, did the other realtors you meet with talk to you about how many buyers they're currently working with? Pause. And I hand the seller the printout, and it has the names and information on the 650 buyers in my database. So this is like a prop I bring out in the listing appointment, and you can see the seller looking through this list going, holy crap, this Craig Proctor has a lot of buyers. The other realtors, all they did is they talked about, you know, if we listed with them what they would do to go find a buyer, and Craig comes here and he says he's already got 650 buyers. You know, since Craig's got all the buyers anyway, why don't we just list our home with him? So that's an example of a unique service. Then we can have special financing. Okay, so you could do super low down payments, zero down. You know, obviously you lenders know more about special financing you can offer than the realtors, but this is where you want to work with the realtors and help the realtor set themselves apart by educating buyers. For example, there's a lot of people that are renting right now that are only renting because they perceive that they can't afford to buy a home. Now, don't get me wrong, there's lots of people renting that absolutely we can't help. There's a very good reason why they can't buy. They've got horrible credit, they don't have income, they've got bad job stability. But the opposite's also true. I always say this to realtors, that within a 5-mile radius of their office, there's dozens, maybe hundreds of buyers that we could help. And if we could just educate these buyers and how they really can buy, think of how many more people we could help. So this is where lenders and realtors need to work together to be creative. So I get lots of calls off this sign right on my advertising, buy this home for no money down. We found creative ways to help buyers buy with super low down payments or no down payment at all. And then the third way to set yourself apart are using statistics. Okay, and lenders and realtors can do this. For example, one of the things that I determined is that my listings, remember I'm only working with the very best sellers because I've got this luxury of choice I described. I can pick and choose which sellers I want to work with, and I choose to work with sellers that will listen to me, that will take my advice and not fight me. So that means I work with sellers that will price their home accurately. Therefore, my listings on average sell for 98% of the asking price. The real estate board average was 96%. So I can advertise to buyers that if you list with me, your home will sell for 2% more. I also could advertise that because I price them right, my homes sell in half the time. My days in the market, 33 days. The real estate board average, 68 days. Also, 87% of the listings that I took on would sell and close. The real estate board average was 58%. So we can show you how to use statistics, whether you're a realtor or a lender, to help set you apart from everyone else. And here's one of my coaching members doing exactly that. So the Botrel team, they sold 48 homes. The average agent in their real estate board sells 3 in a year. We sell for more money. On average, their listings sell for 101.2%, which is 2.9% more than the real estate board average. And you'll get your home sold faster. They sell their homes for 72.1% faster than the average realtor. She's another one of my coaching members. She's in Ottawa. Your home sold in 29 days or I'll buy it. And then she's got stats here, 3 big reasons to call Marnie. Number 1, we do more for you because we sell more homes. Check this out. Her company sold 3,337 homes in the last 5 years. She sells them for more money, 101% of the asking price versus 98%. And we have more buyers. We have 597 buyers right now in our database looking to buy a home in Ottawa. So a couple of examples to support these strategies. Okay, universal principle number 3. If you try to be all things to all people, you're going to dilute your effectiveness. And this is what we talk about targeting. Like, who do you want to target? Who would you most like to work with? And for many realtors and lenders, I've got a picture of a dartboard because that's really what they do. They throw a dart at the wall and they think, okay, there's my target market. For example, my target market, funny story, first listing I got, I was sitting at an open house and a Japanese couple, they work at Honda, they come through, they didn't speak any English, the daughter did though, and that's how I got my first listing. I'm pretty convinced, you know, the reason they listed with me is because they didn't know that I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, that listing was in an area called London Road, so guess what? That becomes my farm area, just because that's where I got my first listing. Well, a lot of realtors make that mistake. You know, their farm areas, like, you know, the neighborhood they live in, or the neighborhood close to the office, or maybe like me, the neighborhood where they got their first listing. Hey, not the best way to do it. So we're going to use science and logic so we can make good decisions. To be successful as a marketer, not only do you need to have the right message, you've got to aim that message at the right marketplace, and you've got to deliver that message using the right medium. And we've got lots of different mediums, both online and offline, to deliver these messages, whether it be Facebook or Google pay-per-click or Craigslist or print magazines, direct mail, lots of different ways to do that. And isn't this the truth? The world's greatest marketing message is no better than the world's worst marketing message if shouted at deaf ears. So we talked about Coca-Cola, right? They got gazillions and gazillions of clients, but it costs a lot of money to talk to everybody in the world. The only leverage we're going to have as lenders and realtors is we have to be a big fish in a small pond. You know, can imagine driving your car out to the Pacific Ocean, and you get out of your car and you walk onto the beach and you lean over and you spit in the Pacific Ocean, and you get back in your car and you drive home and you think, hey, I've just changed the ecology of the planet. Nope, you didn't get noticed. But that's what many realtors and lenders are doing with their marketing. They're spitting in the Pacific Ocean. The only leverage you're ever going to have is jumping in a puddle like the Incredible Hulk. Okay, not spitting in the Pacific Ocean. So we teach you how to shrink your target market so it makes sense in relationship to the limited resources you have. Finally, universal principle number 4. We've got to make it easy for people to do business with us. Most realtors and lenders make it difficult. Why is that? So you'll see on all my advertising that I never drive traffic to me. I never say, call Craig Proctor, the real estate salesperson. I drive prospects to my website and my recorded hotline message. So information is available 24/7. I call my landing pages and my recorded messages my robots, because these robots handle the prospect inquiries 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you'll notice on this ad, there's a domain name. I'm off, by the way, lenders, this is a good ad for you to run too, right? Fixer-uppers, bargains, lowest prices, these homes need work, free list with pictures. Visit fixerupperpropertylist.com or call the recorded message. So the buyer calls in, they say, hey, I'm looking in this price range, northeast part of town, I want a 4-bedroom house, double car garage. All you have to do is get your realtor partner to go to MLS, pull off a list of homes that match exactly what the buyer's looking for, and now you call back a prospect that's come to you. How easy is that? So I would say, hey, this is Craig Proctor with ABC Realty. The reason I was calling is I received your request, right? Your request for the fixer-upper properties. Just wanted to let you know I've sent that information out to you. And by the way, I wondered if you folks were planning on making a move in the next little while. Well, it's very unlikely that the buyer is going to say, oh no, my wife and I, we're just in the habit of requesting useless information. Who would, first of all, be looking on Craigslist, Facebook, Google pay-per-click, find this ad, read it, respond to it, go to the website or the hotline, leave all their message? Would everyone do that? No. Only the best prospects would do that. Who are we interested in? Only the best prospects. So we got to make it really easy and non-threatening if we want prospects to do business with us. Okay, can't service too much, can't educate too much, can't inform too much, can't follow up too much. I don't think any of you have lost any business from doing any of that stuff. So Dave, you asked me to talk about this Sunday tour of homes. So for years, like a dummy, I used to do these traditional open houses. Okay, so let's go back here and look at a traditional open house. Okay, so stats show us where do buyers come from. Look at this, second from the bottom, only 1% of buyers said that they bought their house because of an open house. So what that means is a 99% chance that an open house is not going to be effective. However, there's gazillions of realtors all over the country every Saturday and Sunday sitting all afternoon in open houses. And I quickly determined, my definition of a traditional open house, it's a place where I go and nobody else does. We do it to placate the seller, but we know it really doesn't work that well. I mean, think about it. You're sitting in an open house. What's the chances of someone, a buyer, coming along, ringing the doorbell saying, oh my God, this is a house of my dreams? So what I decided to do was a tour of homes. I determined that when I grouped 6 homes together like this, that I got 6 times as many buyers coming out. I don't know if you can see this, but each house is only open for 10 minutes. The first house is open from 1 to 1:10. The next house from 1:25 to 1:35. So there's 15 minutes travel time between the 2 homes. Why 15 minutes? Because that's how long it took me to get from one side of town to the other side of town. Why are the houses only open for 10 minutes? Some of you may say, well, how can you sell a home in 10 minutes? Well, I probably can't, but at least I can identify who's interested. You see, on purpose, I'm driving all the buyers to each house at exactly the same time. Traditionally, I would do an open house, let's say, from 1 to 4 on a Sunday afternoon. So at the beginning of the open house, a couple comes through, they kind of like it, and then I don't have any other buyers until maybe 3:30. Another group of buyers comes through, and they also seem to like it. If I said to the second group of buyers, hey, if you're interested, you better get on it because earlier there was someone else interested, they think, right, sounds like a line from a salesperson. However, the house practically sells itself with the tour. I open up the door, on average, we have 10 to 15 buyers at each house. If you kind of like that house and you see 10 or 15 other buyers in that home at the same time who also seem to like that house, psychologically, what impact does that have on you? So I had 6 houses open. The tour worked so well in Newmarket, I opened another 6 homes in Aurora. I taught my buyer agents how to do this, so I was able to take Sundays off, have 12 houses open, pacify 12 sellers, and here's the best part, lenders and realtors, on average, I would meet, or our team would meet 5 unattached buyers at each one of the homes. Right, unattached, they don't have a realtor, they're ready to buy, we can get them pre-qualified. So you realtors, you want to work with your lender. I had my lender at each one of the homes, we pre-qualify the buyers. If I have 5 unattached buyers on average at each of 12 homes, 5 times 12, that's 60 buyers every Sunday. And I'm pacifying 12 sellers. And that's how we market the tour. This Sunday tour of home sign is installed the week before the tour. So we're running out of time. If you kind of like this, if this resonates with you, I'm going to invite you all to come and spend 3 days with me. I conduct these huge conferences. We call them super conferences. I just did one this weekend. There's anywhere from 800 to 1,000 realtors at each one of these conferences. I've got one coming up in just a couple weeks in Anaheim, California, September 18th through the 20th. If you can't make that one, or you're in Northern California, we've got one in San Francisco, November 13th. That's supposed to say 14th, rather, not 24. It's not a 10-day conference, so that's a typo. November 13th and 14th, it's a 2-day conference in San Francisco. And we've got a 2-day conference in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, if you're on the East Coast. Now, to get more information about the conference, you just go to myname.com, craigproctor.com, and you can get registered there. And what you get is everything. Whether you're a lender or a realtor, you get my ads, my scripts, my presentations, checklists, organizational charts. You really get a business in a box. Remember, you're learning from somebody who actually made millions of dollars every year selling real estate. This isn't stuff I read in a book or I learned from somebody else. This is what I actually did to be one of the top real estate agents in the world for Remax. The normal fee to register is $997. Because of our affiliation here today, we're going to drop that price. Also, I'm going to throw in $2,900 of marketing and training materials. We're going to give those to you right away today so you can get started, including I'm going to give you my lead generation website absolutely free of charge. You can try that for 60 days, risk-free. It'll be the same website I use. This is good for lenders and realtors. I'm going to say this. the person that generates the leads controls the transactions. So for too many years, the realtors have generated the leads, and then the lenders have to beg the realtors for the business. Lenders, I would say this, why don't you learn how to effectively generate the leads and have the realtors chasing you? So that's what we teach lenders. We teach lenders how to generate the leads and have the realtors chasing you. There's my website. Your website, whether you're a lender or a realtor, will be a perfect replica of mine, offering all of the campaigns, offering buyers and sellers what it is they really want. The website's not about me. It's not about you. It's about what buyers and sellers really want. So you get a free 60-day trial just for signing up for the conference right away. You're also going to get my universal callback script. This is exactly what you're going to do and say when you follow up with the leads. Again, this is a complete package from the lead generation to the scripts to the presentations you're going to use. You get it all. So here's my special offer today. You can save $200. Again, all you have to do is go to my website, go to myname.com, craigproctor.com. You'll see that when you go to craigproctor.com, we're giving you a $200 discount for being an early bird. You can sign up today for only $797, and yes, you get the $2,900 worth of bonuses immediately as soon as you register. We're giving you all of the information, all the resources before you even get to the conference. Why? Because by the time you get to the conference, we're hoping you've already made more money than what you've invested. At least you're going to have way better questions to ask because you've already started using the program. Okay, there's another option too. If you're not ready to buy and you live in the West Coast, you can come to one of our free half-day seminars. Okay, and there's a list of them. Okay, now again, if you go to craigproctor.com, you'll see a list of them. Now lenders, if you want to sponsor one of these events, if you help us fill any of these events, we'll let you come up and speak. We'll give you the business cards, and James, he's my presenter, will be happy to work with you to set this up. So we make you look like a superstar. So for example, tomorrow, James is in Glendale, California. Next Wednesday in Phoenix, and so on. So we typically have, we need like 100, 200 realtors there. If you feel that you can get the realtors together, you can sponsor these events. We'll do all the work. We'll spend all the money, but guess what? We'll give you the credit if you can get the realtors together in any of these cities. Or if you're in a city that's not listed here and you think you can fill an event, email James. That's his contact information right at the top. James at craigproctor.com, james@craigproctor.com. And I know we're running out of time here, Dave, so you want to make a few announcements. Maybe if you have time, Dave, you could take everyone to craigproctor.com, just show them my website, and I will throw it back to you, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to present to everyone today.
Right on. Well, hey, thank you for making time to come in and share your recipe for success. Everybody, I have put links, or my team has put links to both the website and to the email in the chat section of GoToMeeting. So check that out. And just want to remind every mortgage coach, you are positioned to have a competitive edge with realtors. So I think Craig did a great job of sharing some ideas and strategies on how you can generate more buyer leads. And we want to help you convert those, and we want to help you have a better experience. So make sure you're using the solutions. Again, I do want to remind everybody that my nest, I've received dozens of emails. You can email me at dave@mortgagecoach.com. If you want to have your lender to be considered, the lender you work for, as a My Nest partner, email me. We'll set you up. And this is an app you guys can download today. So you can download it and play with it. Just make sure you put in my mobile number, which I gave you earlier in the call. I'll give it to you again in a minute. Make sure you put that in the source. So this is a great tool to help realtors deliver more value to buyers. And let's face it, if a realtor is using this product, using My Nest, you're gonna get to the sales process earlier. So again, email me at dave@mortgagecoach.com if you want to be among the first to have access to My Nest. Also, make sure you put in our referral code, 949-370-7393. Also, lastly, before we wrap up today's call, I want to remind you guys that every Wednesday we are doing Mortgage Coach Mobile. So tomorrow at, I believe it's 11 o'clock Pacific time, you can sign up and we'll teach you how to use our products to have mobile conversations with both realtors, with families, and to use our apps, how to create a video from your mobile device, and how to have a mortgage conversation. So we go through about 8 different, just call it examples of how to use our solution. Make sure you join us this Wednesday. So Craig, thank you once again. Do want to remind everybody, Craig gave you, go to his website to sign up for his program and go to his next big event. And here's the list again of all the events within your within the markets that he's serving. And again, if you want to bring James or Craig out to your market, email James and he'll come out. Craig, any last words before we wrap up today's call?
No, I'm just really excited to meet everyone. I hope I have an opportunity to get face-to-face with those of you that were with us today. Want to thank you, Dave, for the opportunity, and you run a great organization, and just want to thank everybody for tuning in today.
All right. Well, thanks again. Last reminder, I'm going to be interviewing Dave Ramsey next week. This will be a great call to invite realtors and referral partners to join you. So don't miss, and make sure you sign up for the Dave Ramsey interview on September 3rd at 9 o'clock Pacific. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic week, and thanks again, Craig. If you could, before you leave, let us know what you thought of today's call, and if you were a guest on this call and you'd like to learn more about Mortgage Coach, fill out the bottom option that you'd like to learn more. So again, let us know what you thought of today's call as you leave. Thanks very much. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.